This episode is brought to you by Anchor.fm. If you haven't heard of Anchor, you should definitely check them out. It's a super easy tool that anyone can use to create and distribute their podcast. It has everything you need, and you can do it all from your computer or even your phone. Need your podcast cover art? There's a tool. Music and sound effects? They have you covered. Want to record on the fly? It's easy with the app. Now you may be saying to yourself, I already have a podcast. No worries, just create your account, upload, and publish to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Looking for some walking around money? Anchor connects you with advertisers who match your brand. It's a one-stop shop for all of your podcasting needs. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm to get started. Hello and welcome to BizQuik. I'm Corey.
And I'm Julie.
And today on the podcast, we have Aly Gwin. She is the owner and operator of Champion Coffee out of Prosper, Texas. Welcome, Aly.
That's right. You're listening to BizQuik. This is where Julie and Corey provide quick and useful information to small business owners. BizQuik is the podcast where small business owners get to showcase their businesses and receive expert advice and guidance in areas many entrepreneurs struggle with. And you, the listener, get solutions, tips, and tricks on real-world topics that many small business owners face. Julie and Corey are the experts small businesses hire when they need solutions. And the BizQuik podcast is just one way they deliver those solutions. Let's start the show.
Hey guys, thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us. We're really excited to have you here. We love talking to people who have taken on the bold challenge of starting a new business while in the midst of a pandemic.
And I will add, we also like people who start coffee companies.
Oh, yes. Yes, we do. We love coffee.
Breweries, wineries, all of that stuff.
All of the things, yes. We just need to get a gambling company on here.
Yeah.
So tell us about Champion Coffee.
Yeah, oh my goodness. So there's so much to say. We started it, yes. I think that the dream and the prayer started back in January, but we actually launched the process in May. We started, talking to different coffee manufacturers, and we actually have a product that has a special ingredient, a fat burn ingredient inside it. And so we had to talk with a bunch of different manufacturers for that. So all that to be said, this all started in around May, and then we just launched about 2 weeks ago. So to say that the entire thing was during a pandemic is no joke, which was interesting and fun. But it worked, and we are very excited. It is a great product, and we're just excited.
And starting in the pandemic is an interesting thing. Was this a chicken and egg situation? Was this something you always wanted to do, or did it come about because, you were furloughed or whatever?
So no, I had not wanted to start a coffee company. Truth be told, I was worried, to be real honest with you. I mean, I was sitting at home watching Netflix along with everybody else for, a couple months, and just was worried about what was going to happen. And so, I'm a prayerful person. And so I just started praying, like, hey, give me some answers. And I don't know, I was drinking my coffee one day and was like, gosh, how cool would it be if our family could start a coffee company? We have drank coffee. I'm in my mid-40s, and we have drank coffee my entire life. I probably, sadly, have been drinking coffee since I was probably 2 years old because my family is just such, I know. Don't judge my parents. We're just coffee drinkers. And then my brother, who is actually a nutritionist and herbologist, I thought to be different, I wanted to have a good quality coffee, but then to be different, also offer a product that did have some, health benefit to it. So yes, I want to do something for a long time, but it was just in the pandemic, kind of being bored, truthfully, that I just took the bull by the horns.
Well, thank goodness for you being bored. And I will say you're not the only one who started drinking coffee when you were like 2. I can remember being like 5 or 6 years old, and it would be summer break. And I thought I knew how to make coffee, right? So I'd be home with my siblings and I'd make like a pot of coffee with like the old percolator coffee. maker machine, and I would walk around outside. I grew up in the country on like 100 acres, and I would be drinking this cup of coffee, air quotes, because it was really water with just like grounds in it. And I just thought it was delicious. I didn't know any better. I thought that's what it was supposed to taste like. So it's crazy. But how long from when you came up with the idea, like how many iterations did you have to go through to get to that delicious tasting coffee that you have?
So several, mainly because, again, we come from a health environment. We come from a fitness background, several of the, people in my family. So it was extremely important to us to have a couple of characteristics about our coffee. One being organic and another being fair trade. Both of those things were very important to us. Through this process, so since January or May, I should probably start saying May, I've learned a lot about coffee, and I learned that only 3% of coffee out there is organic. Which means 97% can have fertilizers and pesticides and fungicides on the coffee. And so, again, hearing that and understanding the importance of people drinking coffee and coffee being a very good thing for your health, just black coffee, just plain coffee is actually really good for you. But if you're putting pesticides and fertilizers on it, it makes it a not good product for you, right? And so because of that, we had to go back and forth with different origins and countries to find what I felt like was the smoothest, low acidic coffee. Okay, so that's for the fearless coffee that we have. For the courageous coffee that has the, special ingredient in it, that took a lot of work because the ingredient is a non-stimulant ingredient that does help your body burn fat and hold on to lean muscle. So there's a massive health benefit to it. Unfortunately, when you add any kind of healthy things to anything, a lot of times it makes it taste like crap. So there was a lot of back and forth working with the SciMed team, and a research team to get that ingredient combined to where we could mix it into our grounds and still bring the public a good, very good tasting health quality product. So I know that's a long answer to a short question, but because there's two different things that we were working with, it took some time, several months.
Yeah, I will just say, I know Corey's got a question here, but we're actually drinking some of the coffee right now. And that's the word I used to describe it when I was talking about it before Corey had tried it, where I said it is,
I think you said buttery.
It's like buttery. It's really smooth and just creamy is how I would describe it. And it's just, it's different than anything I've ever tasted before in coffee.
Yeah. And I was,
sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, Julie, one thing so buttery is a new word, but yes, I definitely see that. But the aftertaste, again, if you drink the Fearless and then go drink, I'm not ragging on any coffee, but just some other coffee brand, you'll notice the aftertaste. Like ours has like no aftertaste. It's just that smooth feel versus conventional coffee. So you'll notice that from now on. Sorry, Corey, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah, I was in the cafe restaurant industry for a while, and so I worked with a lot of producers, local producers, coffee companies, whatever. One of the guys who was our main supplier, like his knowledge about coffee was just incredible. Like he was like, it sounds almost offensive, but he was like a grand barista or whatever, like in the barista guild.
Why is that offensive?
Because it sounds like he should be like casting spells or being racist,
like the Grand Wizard.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know. Like he's one of like the top guys in the coffee industry. And like China, for example, would fly him, like the country of China would fly him over to China to do training for their cafes over there. Crazy stuff. And he would tell very interesting stories. And it was really interesting to taste the difference between like properly raised and grown like coffee versus like the crap that you get from, Maxwell House.
Yeah.
So how did you go about that? And what is your secret ingredient?
Okay. Two good questions. So again, it was us understanding origins, understanding, the countries that grow them, I mean, of course, when you think of coffee, most people think of Colombia, or at least I did, or Costa Rica, and both of those great growers. But again, because I wanted that organic, the process behind organic, and even with our decaf, it's a mountain water process is what they call it. We wanted no chemicals in the processing of our decaf. And I know most people hate decaf, but I actually like my night decaf coffee. And so tasting, it wasn't like we didn't find good products from different countries, but once we loved the Honduran coffee bean, again, mainly because it was 100% organic, the fair trade behind it, and all the certifications. It was grown in a shaded, mountain area. Just everything that it offered was so important to us. We could find little great things about several of them, but when we found this bean and this farm, we just were sold. The taste, everything, the quality, the company, again, all their certifications. And so all that to be said, that's why we went with the Honduran bean for this, this Fearless and Courageous coffee. Our secret ingredient. So our secret ingredient is called CLA. Anybody in the fitness world has probably heard about it before, but maybe just hasn't studied it. CLA stands for conjugated linoleic acid. What it is, it's an omega-6 fatty acid. And so again, most people they hear that and they understand, like fish oil. When you hear fish oil, I'm sure if you've ever gone to the doctor, they tell you to be on a fish oil. It's the one supplement that you can, take that's really good for you. However, again, the benefit, not however, I shouldn't have said however, the benefit to fish oil is your good fats help to manage your bad fats. Okay. I'm giving y'all a little nutrition lesson too in this. But clearly fish oil tastes like fish. So you don't want to put fish in coffee. That'd be gross. So what we found was this, I know, somebody probably would like it, but that's just gross. CLA, again, is an omega-6. It is a plant-based CLA. So again, anybody that's, worried about things like that, it is plant-based. It's from safflower. And what it does is, like I said, it helps to stop the formation of fat. It helps to hold on to lean muscle, and it helps to activate your fat burning process. And so when you're drinking coffee, dang sure if you're drinking the caffeinated one, the reason why we know, we've been drinking it now for probably 2 months, I would say, and we all see a difference, in our body. And by we all, there's probably 10 of us that have gotten to be the trial, guinea pigs. Because not only are you putting the CLA, which is an omega-6, fatty acid, but it's combined with the caffeine, which again is a great metabolism booster, a good stimulant. Those two things really make our product a good product for health or fat burning or heart health. Just all of the attributes that the CLA, brings to it is amplified because it is mixed with a caffeine. So caffeine is a carrier, so it helps to carry things through your body. So the fact that ours is carrying CLA through your body, that's why people are already seeing benefits to it. So,
and you stole exactly what I was just about to say, is that the benefits of caffeine, like, everybody drinks coffee or soda or whatever, like you shouldn't be drinking soda, but like the benefits of caffeine, like how it can like affect other parts of your body is really impressive. And then adding, the extra, the CLA is huge.
Yeah. Yeah. People don't seem to again, they're just not educated. They just like coffee and like the fact that it picks them up in the morning. But again, I go back to what you said, Corey, about your friend. We have learned so much about coffee, and coffee really is a great product. The problem is people getting too much caffeine, or getting a non-quality coffee, then it becomes not healthy for you. But if you get just a good, simple, perfect amount of caffeine, and then you've got organic, and now you're adding this CLA, it's a very, very, you can now say that you're doing something very healthy for yourself.
We're going to take a quick break to let Damian Scott tell you about his business, Lexington CPA Associates.
Hey guys, Damian Scott here with Lexington CPA and Associates. We are your accounting professionals working from coast to coast from California to New York, anything accounting and tax related. I know it's the beginning of the year. You might be thinking about doing your tax returns, and we're the ones to help you out. Contact us today based off of this conversation right now. Receive 20% off, and we'll help you with that mountain of paperwork that's on your desk. We'll get you cleaned up. We'll get you ready for taxes, and we'll get you moving forward. Damian Scott with Lexington CPA Associates. We look forward to hearing from you soon.
Check out our show notes to learn all the ways that you can connect with Lexington CPA Associates. Now back to the podcast.
I'm going to switch gears a little bit. I want to ask you about some of the difficulties that you've encountered while launching a business during a pandemic, right? So surely there were some things that were like,
Yes. Truth be told, the hardest thing for us, I mean, coffee bean, because the farms are kind of out there and they're kind of separate, getting the beans to fly over wasn't the hard, it actually wasn't that bad. I mean, typically when if you can get beans in 7 days, it was taking 10 to 12 days. But because the farmers are always separated, there's not like mass gatherings at a coffee farm, everybody's way separated. So protocol there really didn't stop that much. The problem was the manufacturer for the CLA, because our CLA is flown over from Australia, and then the manufacturer is up in Wisconsin, and naturally people couldn't work for a few months, and then had this social distancing protocol for several months. So that was really the hardest thing, was the fact that we were dealing with a few different manufacturers. And there was, again, all the social protocols that delayed everything. So besides that, it was just, not getting too anxious. That's the hardest thing, I think, for someone like me that's such a driven, I'm a very A-type personality that once I have a dream and a vision, I just want to go. And so I don't have a lot of patience with this whole COVID thing. So it was probably more of a mental game for me than anything.
That's completely understandable. And it's something that we've talked with a lot of people over the past 6 months or since March, whatever, where the supply chain has been an issue. And, there's no coffee grown in North America. Your CLA comes from Australia. How difficult has that been? And then also jumping through hurdles where you're producing something that gets consumed. So does the FDA get involved? How does that work?
Coffee actually is one thing that, is not as difficult as you would think to get out there and get approved and all of that stuff. Again, I go back to saying that the hardest part was the manufacturers and the workers, things like that. It just delayed us. I mean, it delayed us 10 days, 2 weeks. Our big batch of I'm showing y'all as if everybody can see me. I'm holding it up. The Courageous Coffee will be here next week, and it was supposed to be here on October 15th. So, everyone is just set back, and so again, it's more me being anxious and not having patience. That's been the hardest part through the pandemic. And of course, obviously, I want everyone to be safe. I mean, we're over here coming from fitness and nutrition backgrounds and a family business, and so we want everyone to be safe. And it, even down to the delivery of our coffee. I want safety. It's just, like I said, I'm real anxious, to get it out there. And I forgot the second part of your question.
I think you answered
I think
both,
you hit them all,
actually.
yeah.
You're
I
good.
did.
Yeah, you answered the second part first, so you're good. I am curious about, I'm curious about a lot of things, but right now I want to talk a little bit about, if you could, how you came up with the name and the packaging. The packaging for, I know people can't see this audio podcast, but the packaging is simply stunning, right? That's the first thing you notice, when it arrives. When you order it, it's just this beautiful packaging that it comes in. So can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, this is what's so special to me. And I'll do my best not to be emotional, because I can be emotional. I have dealt with anxiety and panic attacks my whole life. So, I would totally say that I have mental, I guess the word is illness. And so when I was wanting to take this leap, it was difficult. I mean, it was challenging. It was scary, and all the words that any startup would say. But I kept coming back to, talking to myself and saying that everybody has an inner champion in them. You just got to find it, and you got to find it, and you got to act on it. So our name, Champion Coffee, came from that exact thing. We just believe that there is a champion in everybody. The packaging came from, of course, like Julie said, it's beautiful, and it is solid gold with a little bit of silver, and it's like this metallic gold, real pretty. I'm very, proud of the packaging. Our thought behind, there's a lion on it that's kind of standing on a statue. We just wanted people to be proud, and our title being Wake Up Winning. We want people to know that whatever they desire, they can have if they go for it. So that's kind of a short/long explanation of Champion Coffee and the packaging behind it.
Well, absolute home run on the packaging, and it's like all of the work that you put into it. It really, really shows. It's great design, and it's just visually pleasing. I also just want to take a quick moment, before we move on to my next question, and just say that I'm personally super glad, because it's such a great product, that you overcame like the anxiety and conquered that, and were able to put this great product out to the world, because I really think it's going to make a difference for a lot of people. But I also think the story behind it, of you being able to move forward even while dealing with, the anxiety and whatnot, that's a really nice story that I hope a lot of people get to hear as they learn about your brand.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Again, especially with the pandemic going on, that did not help anybody that deals with anxiety. And so being distracted with the coffee was for sure helped me personally. But again, I want to take it further. I want people to be healthy. I want people to, if the side effect of the CLA helps people lose weight and all the, fat burning things, that's amazing. But again, it's the Wake Up Winning slogan of our bags of coffee, I think is, mentally what we also want to really get out there, that, just like you guys, if you believe that you can do something and you go for it, you can achieve it. You can, if you believe that you can wake up and win every day, it gives you a reason to wake up and go. So.
And I love that message, especially with the pandemic, because what everything's, like the news and everything's been telling us is like, sit at home, stay in your pajamas, eat pizza rolls, watch Netflix. So having that product that actually, can kind of motivate you to be a better person, especially nowadays, I think is great.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you.
I also want to know if this is for selfish reasons. I guess you probably won't ever be able to do whole bean, right? Because you've got the CLAs that go into it, so you have to grind it.
We are possibly working on a solution to that. So give us some time, because if we can either mix in the oil with the bean or possibly sell the oil with the bag so that people can mix in the oil themselves when they're grinding their beans. Give us some time. We've got some nutritionists working on that.
Got it. Do y'all do your own fulfillment?
We do. Yep. We got a family. I'm telling you, I got a big family, and that's what we wanted. We wanted this to be as family driven as possible. And so obviously if we need to expand, and when we need to expand, prayerfully, we'll get to expand. We're first going to reach out to people that were hit, their businesses were hit with COVID, to give them opportunities to come help us out for extra income and things like that. So.
Oh, I love that. What a generous opportunity to give to people. And I think one of the things that I love when small businesses do their own fulfillment is that opportunity to really personalize the experience for the customer, right? By putting in that handwritten thank you note. And some of like my favorite brands, favorite small businesses do that with the really nice, just handwritten notes. And it just makes you want to buy from them again. You're like, this is such a personal experience, and like they really care about the business. So I love that you've got your family doing the fulfillment. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I just got I don't have any pets, but I just got a shipment of dog food the other day from a guy who we had on the podcast, Chad from Munster Milling. But and I ate some.
That's a whole story, Aly. It's a whole story.
A whole other story. But there was a handwritten note there, and I was like, man, if I actually owned a dog, I'd probably buy more from this company. In all honesty,
I know, it's
probably
special.
never going to eat that dog food again. Sorry, Chad. Wasn't very good, but
That's amazing.
I'm sure a dog would love it.
Yeah.
Um,
I want to ask one final question
Yeah.
if we have time. I am really curious about your marketing strategy that you that you've been using since you launched. Is it strictly organic growth through social media, or are you using paid advertisements, or what are you guys doing, Aly?
We had because of our past, we had a bit of a following on social media. So, yes, I would definitely say that we had a little bit of a benefit, as far as that goes. I mean, coffee is not that difficult of a sell because everyone loves coffee. And so when we did put it out there, it did move, fairly quickly in the last, we've only been going for 2 weeks now. But our plan is actually to definitely utilize social media. Again, going back to, trying to help people out. We do want to launch an affiliate program to where, if somebody sells our coffee, that we'll send them a check for 20% of each bag sold, from them. We'll give them a personalized code and things like that. So again, this business, being a small business and coming from very generous hearts, I mean, not just mine. I mean, obviously my entire family's very much like me. We constantly want to give back because we know that if we give back to others, it's going to come back to us, but it is a very, very wonderful feel-good thing when someone is just loving our coffee and shares it. They have their own personal code and they get to earn some money, for the holidays or for, I don't know, a kid's birthday or to buy dog food that you're going to eat yourself. I mean, just any way that we can give back to get the word out there about our coffee, but also to be able to help other people. That's what we want to do. So we're always open for ideas. If anybody listening has different ideas for us, that's another thing. We are not too prideful to not listen to many, many different ideas that we might utilize.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And we're going to have to start wrapping this up. But Aly, can you tell everybody who's listening how they can learn more about your company?
Absolutely. Our website is championcoffee.biz, B-I-Z. We do want to give all of these listeners a 10% discount, so they can use CCC10, so Champion Coffee Company 10, CCC10 at checkout, and they will save 10% off their order. And we have a contact page on our website, so if anybody has any questions, definitely if they're concerned about, the CLA or whatever, we obviously have a nutritionist that can answer any questions, regarding, their health fears or whatnot. So, definitely championcoffee.biz is our website, and get a hold of us or do some shopping.
Yes.
Awesome.
And I will say you can also follow Champion Coffee on Instagram. That's where I learned about you guys, was through Lisa Page. So
Yes.
shout out to Lisa and her influencer status, but she's amazing. So thank you so much for coming on the show today. We really, really appreciate it. We've enjoyed this time of getting to know you and learning about Champion Coffee. We also want to thank all of our listeners, and everything that you want to know about Champion Coffee and Aly, you're going to be able to find in the show notes, including that very generous discount code.
And if you want to connect with us, we are on social media, as is pretty much every business. We're on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And you can reach out to us through our website, sbpace.com and bizquickpodcast.com.
While you're out there, subscribe to our podcast and like us and give us a review. We love feedback.
We love feedback. And you can reach out about topics, anything that you want us to talk about. If you want to be a guest on the show, whatever it is, reach out. We are happy to talk to you. And guess what? We've got a book out there. It's called Seriously Now What? A Small Business Guide to Disaster Preparedness. It is a #1 seller on Amazon, and there's a companion workbook that you can download from our site.
Yes. And with that, I'm Julie.
And I'm Corey.
And this was BizQuik, helping small businesses across America.